Hey everybody, welcome. Today we're going to talk about brain integration. So an integrated brain is one that is more interconnected and whole. When a brain is wholly connected, it's using the left and the right side. They're balanced, and the different parts can communicate effectively. And when we feel overwhelmed, we are in survival mode and our brains have lost integration. So it's not functioning harmoniously as a whole. And I like to refer to it as shut down or wound up because I typically either flee, fight, or freeze in these situations. You can't process information in your brain when it's not balanced. So you need both the logical side and the emotional side of your brain. When you have lost brain integration, you are surviving and you're coping instead of thriving and creating. The brain functions better when you know how to control the body's ability to relax. So the more time we spend in this state, the healthier we are, and we become better able to process information and solving problems. Doesn't everybody want to do that? So I wanted to give some examples of what happens to me when I'm triggered. It's so easy to be triggered in a situation, and our relationships with other people are huge factors in being triggered. And being triggered means that our brain is remembering an experience from the past that we didn't like. And so I kind of look at it like it's this pile of emotions that when they're not managed, our brain is triggered with a feeling of, okay, that makes me angry. Okay, that makes me feel worthless. That makes me feel pity for myself. So there's these piles, and we've learned these throughout time. As we've grown up, we have these piles of emotions and experience that are intertwined with one another that we need to help break the cycle. So I always say, like, a lot of the tools that I teach are just helping us unlock the facts from the emotions. Because what happens is an experience has what happened, the information, and then the feelings that were created, whether they're positive or negative, are intertwined with the information. And so that builds a trigger so that the next time when I have a feeling of that makes me angry or that makes me feel worthless, it pulls up the pile of experiences that I haven't dealt with. And so my brain doesn't know how to see the experience I'm having right now as a independent individual moment. It uses that feeling as, I know what this feels like, and I have this pile of experiences over here. And then I react not just with this, it's not the pain of the anger or the unworthiness of that moment. It has triggered my pile of experiences throughout my whole life that haven't been dealt with. And so that's why we feel shocked at times of, why did I act so crazy about that? Or when we overreact or react hastily, it's because it's our body is trying to protect us, and it's in that fight or flight or freeze brain. It's in that brain that is literally in survival mode. And so we want to get our brain back online by using some really easy tools. So what we do is we have a brain gym. So these are brain exercises to help use our right and our left hemispheres of our brain to get back online so that we can actually have the kind of brain that can be clear. And by using both sides of our brain, we're able to articulate we're able to clarify, we're able to collect information, and we don't have to react. So I'm going to go over those exercises in just a moment. So I wanted to go over ways that I can get triggered. So when someone gives me feedback, I don't know about you, but feedback for me means I'm not good enough. I feel rejected. I feel wrong. And anytime that we were corrected as a little girl or a little boy, that can be a trigger, because it's like, oh, our parents corrected us. I'm not a good girl. I did something wrong. And we want their approval so bad that it's stored in our memory of like, we have to be good all the time. If I'm perfect, if I do everything right, then they're not going to be disappointed in me. And we skew information because our feelings get attached to the information, and then we can't even see it clearly. So I know when a friend is giving me feedback or letting me know that I hurt their feelings, it can be a trigger for me, because I feel like, does this mean they don't like me anymore? Does this mean they don't like me for who I am and I have to change? Does this mean they're going to gossip about me? It's like I start feeling threatened. There's this self-centered fear that comes up, and it's like, I need to protect myself. And it's like, oh, you think this is wrong with me? Well, let me tell you about you. And I want to turn it around, and I want to blame them. That's the coping mechanism that I have. And so I'm going to give you this example. So, of course, this happened just a couple weeks ago. I was visiting my mom, and we were at church, and we had to be ready and looking nice pretty early in the morning. And so after church, she was looking at me, and she noticed like makeup. There was like a big blotch of makeup right here on my forehead. And she said something like, there's something going on there. And I started rubbing it in, and she's like, oh, you didn't blend your makeup. And it's laughable right now, but I felt rejected. I felt wrong. I felt ugly. It's not from that one situation. It's because I want my mom's approval so bad that for her to say there's something wrong with me, it's like there's a pile. There is a pile of unmanaged emotions. There is a pile of experiences that I have felt wrong when my mom has given me feedback. And that was my trigger. So I have to realize I have to realize that my brain goes to fight, argue, defend, or shut down and don't talk to her for the rest of the day, and it's like, I don't have to go there, but my brain, when it's in survival mode, does that. And so I've learned the first step is like being aware, like, okay, I'm triggered. And if I can isolate that situation, that moment where, it was just like, blend your makeup in, it's not a big deal. If I could just isolate that experience, then I can see it for what it is. But if I'm triggered, I can't. So I have to get my brain online. So breathing is a huge one. Taking a deep breath in, like I noticed right away, like how it felt in my chest and in my stomach. And it's good to notice where you feel a trigger. Does your heart start to race? Do you get a tightening in your chest? Do you get a butterfly or sick, like nauseous feeling in your gut? people will get physical signs of what that trigger is. Some people get embarrassed, like their face gets flushed. So notice what it is, because we are going to go through these different ways to get our brain on track. In that moment, all I could do is breathe, because it would have been weird if I started doing some of these other things. But I've actually learned how to connect in a way that even in front of someone right then and there to do these exercises, even if you do them enough, you can even visualize and you can get your brain on track without looking funny in front of somebody. When I notice that trigger, I will excuse myself to go to the bathroom. So there's several different exercises we're going to go through. First one is cross crawl. You put your right hand on your left knee, and as you raise your left knee, you bring the knee down. So it's kind of like you're kind of doing something like this. Okay, so you're bringing, as I'm sitting here, I'm lifting my opposite knee to the arm that's crossing over my midline. You can do this for 30 to 60 seconds. You can do this standing up, where you just are lifting one leg to the opposite arm. This has a calming effect. It helps clear the mind. It aids in better reading and auditory comprehension. This exercise also helps with spelling, writing, and listening. You can do the cross crawl standing or sitting. I like to excuse myself, but when you think of just walking and swinging your arms, that's kind of like a cross crawl. So that's why, taking a walk, getting some fresh air is a way to calm your brain. Alternating breathing. So close your right nostril and breathe through the left nostril for 30 seconds. Then close your left nostril and breathe through your right nostril. Each side of your brain is connected to the opposite side of your body. So when you breathe through your left nostril, it activates your right brain and vice versa. I like even just doing 4 square breath, where you breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it, breathe it out for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds. So it's 4 squares. In for 4, hold it for 4, out for 4. So it's a square of 4 seconds for each one. In, hold, out, hold. And one of my favorites is called earthing, also known as grounding. Look it up on Google. How cool is it that we can stand with bare feet on grass, sand, dirt, stone, or concrete? With your bare feet in contact with Earth's surface, the electrons flow into your body. Numerous health benefits have been associated with this practice, such as decreased inflammation, better sleep, and a more relaxed mind. Hookups. This is really cool. So while standing up, you're going to cross one foot over the other and one hand over the other, and interlace your fingers like this with your thumbs up. Bring your arms into the chest. It will look kind of like a knot, just like this. So I bring my hands out like this, I cross them over, I interlace them, and then I bring them up. And then you're going to cross one of your other leg over the other. So you're going to breathe through your nose deeply and hold that in for at least 30 seconds. Hold the position for 30 seconds. And then you're going to bring your hands out, uncross them, and then you can do the other side, cross the other leg over, do the same thing. Okay. There's brain buttons. So you're going to hold your left hand in an L with a wide space between your thumb and your index finger. Place your thumb and index fingers in the indentation slightly below the collarbone and press down. Like this. Index finger in the indentation slightly below the collarbone and press down, pulsating lightly. At the same time, place your right hand on the navel, which is by your belly button, and press gently. Do this for 20 seconds, then switch sides. This exercise increased blood flow to the brain, allowing for greater focus and attention. So then you would just do the other one. So these are 1-minute exercises that you can politely excuse yourself to the restroom, go in a restroom stall, and be able to do these really easily. So another thing that can help integrate your brain is try doing things with your non-dominant arm. So if you're right-handed, use your left hand to eat. And if you're left-handed, use your right for things like writing or getting dressed. Another option is to cross your arms. So normally when I cross my arms, my right hand automatically just goes like that. So when I try to do it with my left, it's awkward. So notice how your brain makes it feel uncomfortable and wrong. So we're using different ways to build these brain patterns and brain exercises to develop a way to balance out the brain. And when you practice these every day, they start becoming automatic. So when you get triggered, you're able to calm yourself down. And if you've done it enough, you don't even have to do it in front of that person. Just by visualizing or doing the 4 breath. Also, what I've learned to do from EMDR is to practice tapping each side, just lightly tapping my thigh, alternating, having my both feet on the ground and just lightly tapping my right and left, and practicing that when I'm not triggered and having like a safe place in my mind that I know I can calm myself. That way, when I'm in front of somebody and I'm standing up, I can just have my hands to the side of my hips and just lightly tap with my finger back and forth. And so what it's doing is, and you'll notice your brain, if you close your eyes, your brain kind of, at least for me, it gets used to, it's almost like I can feel my brain going back and forth. I don't know if that makes any sense, but if you practice, you'll see how the brain is being connected and balanced, and you'll feel more calm and relaxed. So this is your video about brain integration, and you're going to have a worksheet that's going to kind of remind you and go over it. And also we want to implement this into your daily living so that when you really need it, you will be able to calm your brain so that it doesn't have to go to reaction. It's like just pause long enough to get your brain back online so that we can really be in the moment and hear the information. Because so many times our loved ones are just sharing who they are and sharing what's going on with them. We don't have to take anything personally. So this brain integration has helped me not take other people and what they say personally. And that is probably one of the greatest tools any of us can have, to not take other people personally. So I can't wait for you to get the results that you're looking for and create more of a loving, safe, intimate, vulnerable relationship with the people that you care the most about. See you next time.